If you identify as being an empath or a highly sensitive person, here's a question. Are you truly a highly sensitive person or highly touchy? Now, we all know what it's like to be around someone where you feel like you've got to be walking on eggshells, right? Because they're just so sensitized and you're being careful of what you say. Highly touchy. And so, what's the difference between being an empath, being highly sensitive, and just being highly touchy? Well, here's some thought. The concept of being a highly sensitive person was coined by this author in 1991, and she describes this as basically someone who's really sensitive to the environment. So that means sights, sounds, smells, someone who needs a lot of alone downtime, someone who can be easily overstimulated. Why? Because if you're a highly sensitive person, you process things deeply. You probably notice more than the average bear in terms of changes in the environment. There's just a lot more processing that goes on. And since you're so attuned to the environment, you get tired out easier because there's just more to process. And yeah, if you're a highly sensitive person, you're probably more empathic to other people. But the focus is on stimuli and the outside environment. That's different than the concept of being an empath, which has been described in WebMD, but it's not really as clinically defined. It's more a word that is used in spiritual circles. It's more loosely defined as, I pick up the feelings of others, but it's mostly focused on other people and not the environment that you're around. And I think it's good to be clear what we mean when we say, oh, I'm an empath versus I'm a highly sensitive person. The interesting thing about this author's research is that she found that about 20% of the population identifies with being highly sensitive, like there's a test for it. Smells, tastes, lights, sounds, you just get overwhelmed by it. And yeah, you might have more empathy for other people. And about 30% of those people are actually extroverts. That surprised me. And this is different than someone who is highly touchy. You can be a highly sensitive person without being highly touchy. As a highly sensitive person with empathy, you can feel where someone's but it doesn't necessarily create a reaction in you. You're just connecting to what someone else is feeling. But the whole empath thing, I'm an empath, and my impression is that a lot of people who identify as empaths are also highly touchy. That's different than having empathy. But if you wear this as an identity, it sometimes means that every little thing can upset you, including other people's feelings. If you're highly touchy, that might mean there's something that just needs to be worked out with. And if you're an empath, that might mean that you haven't yet mastered how your energy moves around other people, something that I spent a lot of time with clients, because no amount of thinking is going to change your energy field. It's more of an awareness of where your energy goes and working with it. What do you think? Are you an empath, highly sensitive person, or highly touchy? I've been all three.